Cheers, Graham. Have fun. Well, finally, on today's Culture Cafe, a visual treat for news addicts and photography fans. Ever since the dreadful events of September the 11th, photojournalists the world over have claimed they've been prevented from doing their job properly under the banner of security concerns. An international organisation called World Press Photo won't be silenced easily. It runs an annual competition which showcases the winners in exhibition spaces throughout the world. Today, the show comes to the Scottish Parliament in Edinburgh, where you will be able to see some arresting, thought-provoking and sometimes amusing images for the next 4 weeks. Julie Jacobson is one of those represented this year. Her work proved particularly controversial because it shows the dying moments of a young US Marine in Afghanistan. We'll hear from her shortly, but first we head for Holyrood, where I arranged to meet photojournalism student Mike Byrne. He was very keen to see the range of pictures on display, so what were his first impressions?
The pictures here are just obviously the best from around the world. And the exhibition itself, it covers a pretty diverse range of issues, and some of these harrowing war stories and some incredible sports pictures as well. So I think there's something for everyone, really. If you walk over here towards
let's have a look, because I can see that something's caught your eye. Very colourful. So what we've got basically is, two on the top, two in the middle and two in the bottom, and it's black men looking incredibly dapper. The one on the extreme left at the top there, a guy with, looks like a tuxedo on. He looks like he's going to go and dance somewhere, but he's got this extraordinary fedora with a red band on the top. What is it that appeals about that? Is it the composition? Is it the colour? Or is it just the innate style of this gentleman with his pipe in his mouth?
Well, the compositions are all fairly simple. They're square frames. This man's sort of framed straight in the middle of the shot. It is the very clean trousers and very sharp black jacket that's it just grabs you, and it seems almost out of place. As a collection, the images all come together, and obviously it's this certain movement that harks back to the 1920s and 30s that sort of define the style. And it's just great and really interesting to look at.
This exhibition is not just about those beautiful, pretty or quirky images. There is obviously some sort of hard-hitting material here, some very, very difficult images to look at. Let's go around the corner because I think you want to show me something else. So we're heading around here, and this is more sort of photo reportage, but we've got a very small group of 4 images here. I mean, what sort of size are they, Mike?
These are really small, maybe 6 inches by 6, maybe a little bit bigger. They're not consistent in their framing. I think they're probably shot in digital, but yeah, I think they've just been cropped down to however suits the photographer. But it's more the content of the image. It's not really an artistic shot, it's the content of the story, and some pretty harrowing pictures.
What we're actually seeing here, and I'm reading off the wall, is Muhammad Akbar Ibrahim, 48 years old, is stoned to death by members of the Hizbul Islam group of insurgents. Tell me what this sequence of events tells us.
Sure, well, it's a fairly simple timeline sequence. Pretty hard to look at when you know what's going to come. Starting off with the man himself being buried up to his waist, and a good crowd of men all wearing masks, possibly ashamed of what's about to happen. And then you see the progress of the events and stones being thrown. And third shot is the man bloodied and possibly dead by then, if not pretty badly injured. And final shot is them dragging him out of the ground and bloodied head and a rag over to cover it up.
This is Sharia law in action. You wonder if the photojournalist that took these pictures was worried about publishing these, because this is incredibly sensitive stuff.
I don't know, it's a difficult kind of subject, and I think it'd be very difficult to stand there with a camera and take the picture. It's